Perfect. We are
We
live.
are live. What is up, everybody? How are you? Welcome. It is Monday, December 26th, 2022, and it is the day after Christmas. And here we are. We planned on doing this before Christmas, but life gets hectic. Life gets hectic around the holidays. So basically, tonight special for the to the nerd and back and for the J World Family YouTube channel. We are doing a short. It's not going to be one of our long podcasts today. We
No,
probably keeping
definitely
this. We're keeping this within the hour. Is going to talk about our favorite movies, favorite Christmas, like giving our top, and then our favorite traditions, and maybe a quick little 2023. I don't like New Year's resolutions, but we can give like for us. It's not so much a personal resolution. Maybe like where this is going.
like a
Right? So
solid
yeah,
goal. A
solid goal
solid.
for the 2023. So, TJ, would you like to say anything to start the show?
Yes, absolutely. So, welcome to, thank goodness, another special holiday treat. We are dual streaming for the To the Nerd and Back page and the J World Family Vlog. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate you. Um, As you can see, there's been a little bit of a change. I had to lose a little bit of extra weight there. Don't worry, my Elvis family will be coming back in a few months. So for those of you who are watching who have been to my Elvis shows, you can stop your heart attacks now. But this is so much fun. We are uh, this time we're here visiting Justin and his incredible family in person. This is not the first time. In fact, I think when we go into one of our favorite
Mm-hmm.
holiday movies,
Mm-hmm.
we can actually tell our story for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see who we get. Oh, cool. Because it's not showing up here.
Oh yeah. So for the To Nerd Back channel, we've got Nancy saying hello. We got Kim Grimsley saying hello. We got Timothy Tellini saying hello. We got Joshua M saying hello. And then on mine, Big J Entertainment says hello. So hi to everybody
That's right.
on all fronts.
I gotta set this to public. That's
Welcome.
why.
How are you all doing?
Good
We're going to
lord.
turn these in real quick. This is the first time we're doing this at my house live. So we're just getting the room we're in right now. This is what I like. I painted this. I have movie things. I didn't change it for the holidays, which is really bad because I do have
There
Christmas
we go.
pictures, movies. So this is what we're going to start with. We're going to start with first off, we wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate during this time of year. Happy holidays to all of you on all those holidays. And then also, New Year's is coming in a matter of
Yes.
days. 2022 is out the door, and 2023 is knocking. So, whew,
Heavy duty.
heavy
Yes.
duty. And I am already ready for spring.
You and me both.
Winter can say goodbye. I've had enough.
We're
I've had enough.
we're over
It's
this.
enough in New York. We've had it. That's it. It's over. Christmas is done. Snow can go. We can get 60-degree weather again. I'm over it. It's over. See, we're agree on this. Uh, so basically, oh, Deb said, "Oh no, you cut your hair again." um, so tonight, what we're going to talk about is we did not talk about what our top favorite Christmas movies are.
No.
I have no idea what his. We've talked about some of our favorites, but we've never actually said what our top favorites are. I don't know if we'll do top 10, top 5. We'll just and then we'll make some honorable mentions of ones that we love to watch every year
Down for that.
and some traditions that we've had over, through our childhood up, and then some new ones that we might have started in our
Yes.
middle age.
Yes.
And we're gonna go from there. So, I guess we should talk about. Um, we'll start with the movies. I think we'll
Yeah,
start with the
absolutely.
movies.
Kim Grimsley, yes, tie-dye rules. You're looking at one of my Christmas presents from Heidi, wearing it proudly. Um, and like I said earlier, there, Deb, don't have a heart attack. I promise you, my hair is coming back. I've got several months before my next Elvis related anything. So this is just me losing some extra weight. Calm down. Um, so yes, we're going to go into some of our top favorite holiday specials and holiday movies. These are the ones that we probably will just watch, whether it's once or twice, but it will be every year we have to watch these. Um, so I mean, uh, I'm gonna list mine in no particular order, but if we're going top five,
We'll do. Well, I think that's the best. We'll top. We did top
and
10. It's
then
going to take forever.
and then the honorable mentions.
We can do smart match. So what I think top five. So should we start with our number one on like your number one, my number one, and we'll go up from there. We'll just kind of start slowly and talk
Absolutely.
about it.
Um,
Because maybe your number one lays at my number two, my number one lays at your number three. Who
it's
knows?
very true.
So go ahead. If you want to go first, you tell me your
All
number
right.
one of all time.
My number one is actually something that we got the chance to go to the Palace to go and see. It was the very first time I've ever seen this on the big screen because I was still a little too young to be going and see this in the theaters. But my number one, this is I have to watch it every year, is of course National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is this is my Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like I have to watch this. Um Chevy Chase, the
Oh,
whole cast. This is such a you'd almost swear this is like a Saturday Night Live video movie, but done on an amp scale. It is hilarious. There's also a lot of heartwarming moments. The cast, the diverse ensemble is just too hilarious for words. And um, huge shout out to you guys for because we were invited to tag along and go see this at the Palace, which is if you guys get the chance to do anything like that, please do. Please do. Get the chance, go see something like that on
mhm.
like the big screen. Because let me tell you, it is a whole another experience with a whole bunch of people. And like Justin and I were just looking over at each other during the
Oh,
moments we knew were coming, and we just started laughing and smirking. I mean, that is by far. And really quickly, the soundtrack.
oh my
The
God.
songs
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
movie, from Ray Charles's "Spirit of
Yep.
Christmas" to Mavis Staples' "Christmas Vacation" theme
Oh,
that
yeah.
plays,
Yeah.
um, you can't go wrong with this movie. It's easily
This movie is probably it's not number one on my list. It is number two on my list.
so
Um,
close.
this held number one for a very long time. I'm not gonna lie. This was for me growing up. It was Home Alone 2. This kind of battling back and forth, which was
Ooh,
my favorite, but this definitely always held number one. But I will tell you my number one in a minute. I do want to talk about what he just talked about. So the Palace Theater this year, uh, they were doing a whole thing during the month of December where they were showing a movie once a week for free. Um, and the only thing you had to pay for was like snacks. And
yeah,
they gave out free raffle tickets, and it was amazing. I went two times. We went. They came for the night, but we went to see another. It's gonna be on my top list, but I'll tell you where after. The first week they showed Muppet Christmas Carol, and I took my little one, who's never seen that on a big screen, maybe watched a little bit of it at home, and they had that night was awesome. Well, when we went to see National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, they had the actual car outside because there is a tourist group in Lake
yeah,
George that they have the Jeep, or not the
yeah,
Jeep, the station wagon, and they do tours all over Lake George, which I'm going to do this year. I'm actually going to
yeah.
pay to go do that
The
and
Griswold
bring you
station
along.
wagon, yeah.
Well, the guy was dressed up as Uncle Eddie out front, had cigar, had the robot. Hilarious. Then they had him come out on stage. He was throwing candy. He's like, shitter's full. Um,
It was
Hilarious.
amazing.
See, now I've seen this movie I, God knows how many
I lost
times.
count now.
Oh my God, I've lost count.
Legit.
I watch it numerous times throughout the holidays. Watching it for the first time ever on a big screen,
Yeah,
being there with a live audience, watching it with us. I laughed. I knew all the jokes that were coming, but it's like I heard them for the first time because I was
yeah.
dying
That's,
laughing.
that's exactly what I'm
I
talking
was
about.
laughing so hard, and I think it was the energy of the crowd.
It
Everybody
was.
was cheering, clapping during things, especially during the line when Chevy Chase gets angry at his boss. You know, I was like, "You dickless," and all that. People were like, "Yes, that's what we want to say to our bosses all the time." The bad ones, not the good ones.
Our audience
Uh,
went ballistic
the
during that rant.
absolutely awesome. So yes, that's number two on my list, and I will watch that movie numerous times. The jokes, the one-liners. Um, And I'm going to say this, ever since I was a kid, that family is my family. My dad, growing up, perfect. We had to have the house perfect with lights. We had to have the inside perfect with the tree. Enough lights on the tree. Guess what I've turned into? You can ask my wife. I am the same exact way when it comes to Halloween and Christmas decorating. And we went a couple years ago during COVID, during 2020, we actually went and cut down a real Christmas tree. It was freezing. We had to, my family said, all right, it's cold. I said, no, we have to find the right tree. We'll know when the light is shining down on the tree. I found the perfect tree because it was, so I am that movie has related to me my whole childhood.
Oh yeah, totally. You're totally Clark Griswold in that. We got a couple of really quick. We got one quick question. I do want to
Yep.
answer that, and then Kim Grimsley responded with two of her top, and I I I hesitate to read this one because one of them's in my top list.
That's okay.
We'll miss it. Michael Ellis, Hallmark Christmas movies. Is it me or all they the same but with interchangeable character names and locations? There's definitely a
The
formula.
Hallmark Christmas movie, yeah, I would say there's
definitely a
a formula to the movies.
They are very much enjoyable, but you can kind of predict.
I haven't watched
After a
kind of
while.
since I've gotten older. I don't really watch a lot of Hallmark Christmas
My
movies.
wife and I do. I actually got a couple for her for Christmas. Actually, there's a very succinct, direct formula that they
Mhm.
do follow, and to their credit, these are very enjoyable. Sometimes inspiration from like a country song,
Yep.
or just a
Yep.
specific pop culture song. One of them, it's not in my top, but we'll get to it in my honorary mentions. Happens to be Elvis themed and takes place in Graceland. So they are enjoyable. It's just you can kind of predict what comes.
Yeah, it's
very
always the
easily.
same. It's kind of the same. There's
Whereas,
usually a death or
yeah.
family hates each other and they all come together. Yeah, it's the formula is usually the same.
Whereas with like something like Christmas Vacation,
Different.
unless you've watched it multiple times, you cannot tell what's coming, and that's the best part of it. Kim Grimsley, top two favorites of all time. White Christmas,
Ooh, that's a good one.
starring Bing, Danny, Rosemary, and Vera, which is a
That's a
solid
classic.
one.
That's a classic.
And the OG Rudolph. Great
Ooh, that's a good movie.
choices.
So now my top one.
Yes.
This is where, and I wish they would have shown this at the Palace this year, but hopefully maybe next year. My top one, Will Ferrell, Elf.
Elf.
Elf just tops, dude. That it just, you know why it tops the list? Because it literally took every classic Christmas movie. I mean, they're doing the animation in the beginning of the movie that's from Rudolph and from Frosty and all that stuff, and then the jokes are like things from National Lampoon. It's just they basically, when they made that movie, just incorporated all the Christmas traditions from movies that we've seen from our childhood into one movie. And that movie literally, I don't think any movie is, in my eyes, has topped that Christmas movie since. I don't think there's been a Christmas movie that's been made since that has topped that movie. Coming after it. Nothing. In my eyes, I don't think there's been any Christmas movie that's come after that has topped that movie. I think there's been tons before that are on its level, like National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, but after it, I don't think anything's topped it. It makes me laugh every time. The jokes, the one-liners, I love it.
Side note, you hear what's playing in the background right now?
Yep, I hear it. Yep. Sorry for the copyright infringement on that one if you hear it in the background.
See,
so what is your thoughts on that? That's my number one. Does that fall in your top five at all? Does that fall?
honorary mention.
Oh, it's an honorary mention for you. Oh.
It's just it's not a matter of quality. I love Elf. It's hilarious. It's so good. But it's the thing is, for me, it's like the other ones in my top five are just there's a different kind of magic behind.
I got you. No, I totally understand.
Elf was so good, so satirical, but at the same time, it captured the childlike innocence of Christmas very well. Will Ferrell just kills it.
Side note: tonight I was hoping we didn't get time to do it because just a day. We're all exhausted. The holiday.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll do this on a next podcast in January. Definitely, I think we should. We got to do a little food challenge. We need to do the Elf pasta challenge. And that's mixing what he made in that movie and trying to eat it. And I think I'll do it. I'll attempt to eat a plate of that pasta. It's a lot of sugar. God, I'm gonna go. But we're gonna attempt. Real quick. Tom is saying hello. Hey, Tom, nice to have you here.
And love your videos.
Yes, love it. Thank you very much. So yes, that's my top one. So no, and TJ, I totally understand where you're coming from. I think it's everybody's cup of tea. And again, being an honorable mention in your list is still great.
Oh,
There's so many Christmas movies to choose from. So
there's
it's so
no way
hard.
Elf wouldn't be.
But Elf for me, there's another reason it sticks with me. It was a movie my dad had, when it came out, bought me on DVD. But my dad used to love to go to the casino, especially over in Connecticut, Mohegan Sun Casino.
Ooh, yes.
And me and him it was the first time I went. It was my first trip to the casino to be legally able to gamble. And he bought that as a Christmas gift for me. And that was as for a vacation, just being me and him was probably one of our final ones together. So it also holds a special place in my heart. So that movie always reminds me of my father and the trip we took. And then I got it that weekend. So now, moving on, my number 2.
Hold on.
What did they say?
Because this is involving our number 1.
Oh, okay.
Donna Vetter for says Merry Christmas All. Love Christmas Vacation, best movie. Justin Hay, he says loving the haircut. Appreciate it, buddy. Donna also says can't wait to go to Great Escape with both of us. Solid. One chip challenge.
Definitely not.
That's a hell no.
I can't handle hot foods anymore.
We're gonna bypass that, but it says very.
Maybe we can get a special guest to do that.
Yes. We'll.
My son loves hot food. We can maybe get him to do it and watch his face.
Hell no.
Maybe we'll do that.
Elf is great, but there should be some kind of moratorium that doesn't allow it to be found on
TV all year long. I agree. It should only be shown like during the holidays.
In moderation, Elf is amazing. But so yes, we want to make sure to because that's awesome that Donna very much appreciates the brilliance of the Christmas.
Yes, most definitely.
So you said you're number 2.
Over here, real quick, David Marinucci. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
So you heard what my number 2 was. National Lampoon Vacation is my number 2. So before I jump to my number 3, since we haven't heard, your number 2 was not Elf. We know your number 1.
No.
So what is your number 2?
It's a bit more obscure.
Okay.
And it gives us a perfect opportunity to acknowledge something too. It's a movie called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. And it was done back in 1980-ish.
Okay.
And it was done by Rankin Bass.
Okay.
And it was like this the stop motion, and it's just the story itself was written by L. Frank Baum, who's of course responsible for The Wizard of Oz, one of the most classic movies and books of all time. And the story involves there's a darker tone to it, but it's a very serious telling of the origin of Santa Claus.
Okay.
He starts off as a mortal, and he's found as this baby in these woods that are full of immortals, and the immortals raise him, and then he kind of takes on their qualities and his childlike innocence, and he earns his way to being Santa Claus. And the whole context of the story is told in Santa as a mortal is dying. He is on his deathbed, and one of his friends is the lead immortal, is begging this council to give him the gift of eternal life by telling his story.
I feel like I might have seen this. Maybe I haven't. I'm just probably because maybe I haven't seen it in a long time. It sounds familiar.
That's
an interesting number 2. That's going that direction. I would have not pictured that being a number 2.
The reason is the music in this. The songs are very whimsical, but also very very beautiful, heartfelt. And first off, anything done by Rankin Bass is insanely good. I'll have to bring it over so that way you can watch it if you want. It's worth a watch. One of my voice acting friends, Larry Kenny, who is the voice of Lion-O from Thundercats, he did a voice in this. So that's kind of how I got to be friends with him, is through this movie. It's one of my mom's favorites. She loves this movie.
All right.
She's the one responsible for me being aware of it.
Yeah.
And it's just this very heartfelt, whimsical, dark telling. Because I mean, this is they're acknowledging death here. Like Santa's about to die, and they give him the ability.
It's very dark.
And they give him the ability to live forever, and continue his yearly deliveries. So it starts off very somber, but it ends very happy.
So that's definitely a movie. And I see on the screen Nancy is her number one movie in my book is Miracle on 34th. That's probably one of my honorable mentions. That's not in my top five.
It's in my honorables.
And I would have to say the one I grew up on was the one that came out. I know the original, but I also grew up on the one that had
Mara Wilson as the little girl.
Yes, with the Matilda. The newer one. That was what, 90? It was like in the early 90s, something like
I'd say 92, 93.
I grew up on that one. So that's definitely an honorable mention. Donna said Sound of Music.
Not necessarily Christmas music.
But that comes out during Christmas time. My wife just said, we'll get there. We'll definitely get to that. My wife just said hers is right behind you. That's and not the cartoon Grinch. That's her favorite movie of all time. All time. All right, so I guess
is a brilliant movie.
Sound of Music is a great movie. I never would have thought of it at Christmas, but I'm doing it.
To be fair, and I think I know her and others' logic on this. The song "My Favorite Things" is always played during Christmas.
Yes, it is.
So it makes sense.
Kind of brings it in
that it would have a place in it, but the movie itself is not a Christmas film.
But I get that point. Yes, that song is played every year. Yes. So moving on to our number 3. So now we've only matched on one movie. Well, his number 1 was my number 2, but we have not matched anything else yet.
Not yet.
So my number 2, my number 2, because when I growing up, I love going here. The last couple of years, with everything that's happened, haven't been a big fan about going. We are going this week, so I will be doing a YouTube video for that vlog. But my number 3, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Now, people would think, wow, you choose the second one over the first one. I love the first one. Don't get me wrong. And there is a fight. People have actually fought, and we're going to get to this in the honorable mentions. People have fought, is Home Alone 1 a Christmas movie? It's a Christmas movie. Fighting over that's not you're like, oh, a robbery would take place. Yeah, robberies could take place. But hello, it's fun because it happened during Christmas.
Instigate the fight of what's holiday movies.
We're gonna get to that one soon. I know which one you're about to bring up, but
there's a few that can apply under that.
Home Alone 2 for me, I think is awesome because one, what is one place you think of that is Christmas at Christmas time? New York City.
New York City.
You got Rockefeller Center. You got the lights on Fifth Avenue. You got the cathedral. You have lights all over the city.
Radio
City Music Hall. So when you think of Christmas in the Northeast, New York City is like one of the top places that jumps, I think, in my eyes, on the top list of Christmas. So, and of course, Macaulay Culkin, and of course, all the other wonderful actors and actresses in that movie. It's a good story. He's not a fan of going to warmer climate during the holidays. I mean, as my older age, I have no problem being in a warmer climate during the holidays. So me and actually Macaulay Culkin would have probably fought on that.
I can't wait to read these comments.
Yeah, we'll get to those.
Yeah.
But I get being a little kid because I was the same way. Chris, you think of snow and the environment that we have here in the Northeast for Christmas, and I totally get that. So I think growing up as a kid, it was fun. Plus, I always like being like him. I always thought about how defending my house if somebody came in and what I would do. And I think it's one of the best, because one of my favorite scenes is when he goes to the Christmas store.
Yes.
And
because they filmed that at the real
F.A.O. Schwartz. Yep. Duncan's Toy Chest.
Duncan's Toy Chest.
When he meets Mr. Duncan and doesn't know it's Mr. Duncan, and listen to Mr. Duncan talk about, here's this guy that is very wealthy and very giving. Some wealthy people might want to learn about that. But he's teaching a kid a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
And about the 2 turtle doves, like if you give one to your friend and you keep one, no matter how far apart you are, you're always together and you're always never apart from each other. I think the story itself has a beautiful beautiful concept. I mean, with the jokes, of course, being spoiled, but overall, that movie has a beautiful story, especially with the homeless lady in the park and their connection.
Yes.
Um,
Solid.
I think it's a beautiful, beautiful story. So that is my number three. Does this fall on your top list, or is this on an honorable mention on yours?
Dude, this is the moment where we match top threes.
Are you saying it's a top three for you?
It's my third.
And it's your third. Wow, we matched on a top three.
We
Okay.
matched on
All right.
on our top.
What is your feeling about it?
That's why I was smirking the whole time because I was like, "You son of a gun." Considering this is a holiday special, I'm going to try to keep the filter
You're gonna
down.
guess. Keep the filter in.
Can't promise, but I'm going to try.
Here, I'll even
Dude.
show the cover to Home Alone 1. Look at that.
Like, dude, this one was just. I mean, I have to bring up Tim Curry. I have to bring up Tim.
Oh
Curry
my God, yes. Tim
because
Curry, yes.
that moment
Yes.
where literally the light goes on and he's just found out that the credit card was stolen and he legit matches the Grinch, his grin, from ear to ear in a very eerie fashion because like Tim Curry is just an acting god and I love him so much for anything he's ever done. And he had such a great physical comedy in
Yeah.
this. It gave us the debut of Robbie Schneider.
Oh my God. Don't tap your tips in public.
Cedric. The moment where where Tim Curry's just trying to convince her not to go out there, and she's just like, and he's like, thousands of ruffians out there, armed to the teeth, and then that exactly that subtle
Please
little
burn up. It's awfully cold outside.
gets me every blasted time.
I love the hotel room when they go in there and he has the video playing. You've been sleeping with everybody. And then he's got Cliff.
Boney Bob, Cliff.
And then Cliff is literally one of the guys. And he looks at him. It's fine. It's fine.
Come on, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
The sequel to Angels with Filthy Souls.
Oh, great.
Man, and another shout out to the soundtrack. Like I said.
Oh yes, soundtrack to that movie is awesome.
But
awesome.
John Williams, the score.
Yes.
But at the same time, the different Christmas songs intermixed into this film. Like sometimes the soundtrack doesn't fit the movie.
No.
And when it comes to and this is one of the things I will say, even for movies that make my honorable mentions, don't put a Christmas song in there just for the sake of putting a Christmas song in there.
You got to make it make sense.
Try to keep it as part of the story because otherwise it's just not going to fit and it's going to throw the balance of the movie off. John Williams and his heartwarming and also heartbreaking score at times during both the first and second films. And the iconic what they call the track is called "Somewhere in My Memory."
Yes,
which is now qualified as the Home Alone theme.
Yep.
And I'll stand behind anybody who tries to put across the conspiracy theory that Kevin McAllister is Jigsaw, because those traps.
Oh my God! Yeah, the traps are amazing.
Like anytime Heidi and I have ever watched both movies, we will go, okay, they should have died here. They should have died here.
Oh my God! Multiple times they should. Even in the first one, they should have died multiple times. This movie, you're getting electrocuted and a sink in the second. How are you not dead?
And they see you are.
How are you not dead?
At that point, you have died.
You have died
and just come back and resurrect.
But the satire, the fun, just you're going over the top on injuries. So, I will say this side mention about what also makes the movie special. And it's when you find movies from the '90s, especially taking place in the city, what's one of the things people point out now if you see it in the movie?
Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers. He actually got to go inside he was at the top.
He was at the very top of the
Twin Towers. So that definitely, if you're that hit the entire. We all know about that day. It hit the entire. But if you're definitely from the area, and I have, it definitely that movie definitely hits home.
It's a solid reminder.
It's a beautiful beautiful reminder. Remembering those people. But it's also like, look at these two beautiful, glorious buildings that were there. But that movie as a whole just really shows the city, shows everything about the city, especially during that time. Times Square was not one of the safest places. 42nd Street was one of the most
Yeah.
not so good streets to be. I remember going to the city at that in the early '90s, before Giuliani cleaned it all up. How you no. I do have some comments.
Yeah, same.
David Marinucci said, I mentioned previously about curling. We have in January 4th to January 10th. Learn to curl sessions. Check even Eventbrite for the sign up soon. Hope to see you there. I'll buy you a drink. I agree on Home Alone 2. He also said, anyone remember March of oh my that's yes, David. Good thing you brought that up because I would have forgotten. I'm gonna be angry if I upset that because that is not my top 5, but that would definitely be in my top 10. March of the Wooden Soldiers. I loved watching that every year after the Christmas parade.
Yes.
You know, you gotta watch that. Yes.
Okay. So for ours, Kim Grimsley says it was 1994 for the remake of The Miracle on 34th Street.
All right.
She watched the OG, which solid rock on Kim. That's her number 3. Number 4 is George C. Scott's version of Scrooge, and number 5 is a movie that Heidi and I got to go see recently with Nikisha.
Oh yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. Michael Ellis, just hanging on here to see where Ernest Saves Christmas lands on your list. You won't have to wait long, I promise you. That is a fun one though. Not a movie, but The Honeymooner's Christmas. I have heard of that. It's supposed to be absolutely hilarious. Julius, who is one of our coworkers from
Okay.
Great Escape, says Holiday Inn as one of his favorites. Rock on.
Okay.
So we're both on our number 4s now.
Number 4. Do you want to go first?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. What's your number 4?
My number 4, ironically enough, is currently playing in the background.
The cartoon version of
the OG version.
Oh, look at that! All right.
That is it was legitimately it's a solid tie between that and one of my honorable mentions for my top 5 spot, but the OG Grinch.
That's classic.
There's a reason why they made it a live action film.
Wait to get to that.
And so that's a solid movie in its own right. If that makes any of our honoraries or tops, I'll go into further detail. But the OG animated Grinch was Dr. Seuss at his whimsiest.
Yeah.
The voice acting from some of the most animated legends of all time, including Boris Karloff, who is not an animated legend, but he is now, but also like a live action acting titan.
Oh yeah.
From his horror films.
Yep.
And I'll read Kim Grimsley's after we get done with our top 4. But the songs too, like the one that's about the play, the Dahudores.
Yes.
Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch, Thurl Ravenscroft.
I have to admit that song now just they overplay it, so it just drives me nuts now.
But
it's a classic. I loved it because it was a classic.
And I will say, this is going to be the only time I will reference the live action. Jim Carrey did an amazing job with his version of Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch in the live action film. But that's me just acknowledging that because I'm comparing.
You're about to jump over to my number 4.
So okay, so my animated.
Your number 4 is the animated version. My number 4 is the live action Grinch.
Let's just say.
I'm sorry. Listen, I love the classic. The classic cartoon goes the classic cartoon would probably go in my top 10 of all time. Top 10 movies of all time. Yeah. It's not my top 5. The live action with Jim Carrey. Okay, match up the cartoon with him, and Jim Carrey did the most phenomenal job bringing that character to life. The facial expressions, the voice, the jokes, making this 30-minute cartoon film into an hour and a probably 40 some odd minute film.
Just shy of an hour and a half.
Just shot whatever. Yeah. Absolutely. I can watch that movie nonstop because the jokes in that are funny. I love watching him.
Oh, they,
I try to work on his voice all the time. I do it and here, with the kids and stuff. I've done it, different places. Um, I love it. I love that they have the music in Jim Carrey sings "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in the movie, which he does an amazing job.
I had to mention that because it was so
Oh,
good.
yeah, and the way I like his version,
So good.
I love the soundtrack to that film. They did do a rap version of, which was funny, of the song on the set. It's not in the movie; it's on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yes, and then of course you got Where Are You Christmas?
Both the one where the little girl sings it in the film.
Yes, they have that version.
Heartbreaking.
Yes, when she sings, it's just
In the best way
want to
possible.
cry.
That's supposed to be. But the Faith Hill version,
The Faith Hill, absolutely.
solid.
Faith Hill.
Very solid. We will bow to
Faith Hill's version of that song was absolutely, and it's just the jokes, the mayor, when he's stealing Christmas, what he does for that, the dog, Max, the dog in that
Max
movie.
is a dog.
He is funny as anything in that movie. That dog makes me he's cute.
He gets put through so much. I have to bring up Christine Baranski, who is the mayor's attempted wife.
Yes.
And Grinch's love interest.
Sheldon's mother on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Yes.
Not Sheldon's mother. Leonard. Sorry, Leonard's mother. Leonard's mother. Sorry, Leonard's mother.
She is one of the
She's
in
hilarious.
this movie because she plays it so straight but voluptuous, and yet at the same time she also has a character development because she doesn't stay superficial.
Yeah,
She just gives in and goes straight for the Grinch, and she helps. Yeah, she helps Martha May.
Yep.
Do
I have a crush on the Grinch?
Like,
I didn't ask you that.
Like Martha May helps Cindy Lou's wife.
Yes.
No, that's Cindy Lou's mom.
Yes.
To stop the sled with the
yes,
like
the Christmas lights.
like
Yes.
she jumps in and says, "We're going to try to stop this." Like she got some really good character development in this version.
Yeah.
And she plays it so well.
Real quick, Kim Grimley said Grinch with Jim Carrey was my mom's favorite. Jessica says hi. Hey, Jessica. Michael Ellis says that thank you. Subcategory Christmas / movie. Michael, I want to see this movie. Violent Night just came out. It's like John Wick meets Santa. Yeah. So want to see this movie. Definitely going to check it out.
Speaking of Grinch one,
the mean one. Oh, that just came out. We have not watched it. We're gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear this Christmas, a new live action of the Grinch came out, but it's called You're a Mean One, and it's the Grinch goes on a killing spree.
This is not your kid's Grinch.
It's not a kid's Grinch. So
it is not.
You gotta watch Violent Night and You're a Mean One. So that's the number 4. Where does that lie? Is that an honorable mention on your list? Does that hit a top 10, or does it for the real Grinch?
For the real Grinch?
Where does that fall for you?
It's got to be in my honorable mention.
Okay.
Like top 10 technical honorable mention. It's just it's not that I have a hate on remakes because I don't. As long as they're done right.
Right.
But it's like for me because I was growing up around a lot of cartoons. And you as well.
Yeah.
There's just something about the magic of like these original cartoons that even though some might think they shouldn't, they still hold up.
Right.
And just so it was a tough one because I was fighting back and forth between animated and live action because they were both incredible. But it is up there.
It's up there.
It's one I have to watch every year.
So now we move to our top 5. So let's go back over our top 4 real quick. So my top 4 was number 1, Elf. Number 2, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Number 3, Home Alone Lost in New York. Number 4, the live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas. TJ?
My top was National Lampoon. Second one was Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. Third one matched yours, Home Alone 2. Fourth one was Animated Grinch.
Right. So now comes our number 5, and then we'll just do a quick list of honorable mentions on both our sides. So my 5th movie. This is kind of rough because I would like to pick a cartoon. I told you Grinch the animated is in my top 10. There is a top, and I'm going to say it's top cartoon. I will tell you what my top favorite cartoon Christmas movie of all time is. It doesn't hit my top 5 of all time Christmas movies, but it does hit my top 10 list. But my top 5 Christmas movie. All right. And I feel like I have to choose one because there's so many versions of
okay.
A Christmas Carol. Now, Which A Christmas Carol is going to be top in the top 5? Which one's going to hit the 5 number on my? So there's a lot of good versions.
So many good.
Okay,
So many
I'm
good
gonna real quick before I mention my pick for best Christmas Carol movie of all time, and it's my top 5. Many years ago in the 90s, late 90s, going to the early 2000s, every Christmas for 10 years, Madison Square Garden put on a staged Broadway musical version of A Christmas Carol, which then Hallmark took that version and made into a live movie. It has Kelsey Grammer
I
as
was just
Scrooge.
about to ask.
If you haven't seen this, definitely check this out. It's an amazing version. Great actors in this. Another one that hits the top list. Good Christmas Carol. And Jim Carrey played the Scrooge in this one. This kept to the book, this one. Because when I took my nephew was 5, 6 years old. And this theater was packed to go see this. Was the Disney's version, which came out in 2009.
Jim Carrey returns to
A Christmas Carol. Jim Carrey. This stuff, the beginning of this movie was so scary. If I was a child, I would have did what half the kids in that theater did. When you're seeing Marley with coins in a coffin, I could not believe what Disney did. Amazing though, because of the CGI, how they did the technology of using their faces. Yeah. Great version, but not top Christmas Carol movie of all time for me. It is.
Are we possibly going to match?
To me, 5, number 5th movie of all time Christmas movie, but number 1 Christmas Carol movie of all time. Okay? And you can fight me on this. I don't care. It's the best one, hands down, because it had the best person playing Scrooge. And that is Michael Caine in A Muppet Christmas Carol.
The one time where I'm going to have...
Hands down the best Christmas Carol movie.
The one time I'm going to have to drop my filter. You bastard.
Yeah?
Because we matched top 5.
That movie.
Sure. In the best way possible.
So, Palace Theater, I did mention, I said I went to see this at the Palace Theater early in the month. They did show this movie. My daughter loved it. She loves Muppets. I got her into Muppets because she didn't know who the Muppets were. Mm-hmm. How dare I not show her the Muppets are? So I'm showing her. She loved it. That movie, some of the best music. You got Kermit the Frog. You got Miss Piggy as Bob Cratchit. You got Mrs. Cratchit as Miss Piggy. But Michael Caine playing Scrooge.
Yep.
Hands down. He is phenomenal. Legend. Michael Caine, legend. Okay, legend. It's going to be a sad day. He was best Alfred, too. Oh, tempted on that one. Who's going to fight me on that one? No, but Muppet Christmas Carol has some of the best music, entertainment. The Muppets were amazing. The way they tell the story. Dude, Christmas Future is scary as all hell in that movie.
Terrifying.
This huge massively tall Grim Reaper with his finger going up, that whole
last scene, batch of scenes is so freaking dark.
And what
for a Muppets film, even
what makes the movie even better? Okay, here's an actor, Michael Caine, right? There was human actors, of course, in any Muppet movies. There's real people in Muppets.
There was a fair amount,
but Michael Caine mostly had to act with Muppets the entire time. And to see the acting on his face, especially...
He was so genuine.
Each ghost that he got, when there was a scene where they're trying to hit his emotion level, like, look how you were. This is what destroyed you. In your past, it was when he let the love of his life go. And he started, don't show me anymore. Why are you doing this? Christmas present, same thing. He saw that Tiny Tim will die if things don't change. Tiny Tim, look what your assistant is going through and you're not helping. And then his acting really, this is where his acting hit top notch. When he sees his tombstone and he breaks down completely. Absolutely phenomenal.
One of my favorite quotes actually came from the scene you just brought up, which Michael Caine is in tears. Scrooge is in tears, and he asks the spirit, why does she delight in torturing him?
Yep.
And she says, I am only the spirit that shows you the visions of that which has been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Yep.
And that was a brilliant moment because that spirit just called Scrooge out on his craft.
Yep.
And
this little kid version of a ghost.
But this movie was solid for so many reasons. I mean, I have to bring up a song that has been on the chopping block and the restoration block and the chopping block multiple times with every re-release. but it's the song, "The Love Is Gone."
Yeah,
It was the moment where it was the catalyst for Scrooge's
I was upset when at Palace Theater they cut that scene out. I was sitting there going, "Where's the song?"
in certain versions,
And I didn't like that.
yeah,
I
in
didn't like it.
certain re-releases,
No, I
they
don't like
keep
it.
the song.
I don't like that they cut that out.
The DVDs will keep it as a
Yes.
deleted scene, so they will not keep it from being seen. But they can't make up their minds on whether or not to keep it in the
It should
movie.
stay. That he mentions that song. That song comes up at the end of the movie. It makes no sense that that song
It does
disappears.
because they bookend it with "The Love Is Found."
Yeah. So nobody's gonna understand where that song came from.
Exactly. So if they didn't keep this in there, there's no payoff to the coda that
Right.
is the
Yep.
final
The final song.
entrance song.
Yeah.
Um, Michael Caine will always be the epitome of Scrooge, um, because of the fact that he plays all the emotions so genuinely and heartfelt in interviews, that he still does. When people mention Muppet Christmas Carol, it's among his favorite, one of his favorite works because he had so much fun
I would love to be in a
genuinely
movie
doing
like
this
that.
movie.
Acting with the Muppets would be so much fun.
The of course, Robin being Tiny Tim
Yep.
and that and
Yep.
everything in that regards, and One More Sleep Till Christmas.
Yep.
Um, the the joke of the rats fighting themselves on the employment line, and they just
Oh my
say,
god, those scenes with them.
"This is my island."
Yeah.
I
It's great.
I start Boston.
And then Gonzo as playing,
Dickens.
Dickens is hilarious.
And the dynamic between him and Rizzo.
Yeah. Oh my god.
God save my little broken body.
And he's like, wait a minute, I forgot. Carlos, you can fit to the bars? Yeah, why? Idiots.
Yep. There's a whole bunch that we just went into reasons why that movie. I have to watch that. Because it's a solid
Classic.
Christmas Carol. In It hits all the right
Yeah.
nerves. Um, Really quickly, because I did I think From Behind on the
Go ahead, say yours.
you first.
I have it all. I'm gonna mess up the name. It all Stalta. Says Disney Plus has the option to watch with the scene in the extras for Muppet.
Yes, they do, and thank goodness for Disney Plus for
Yeah.
that. Shout out to them for putting that as because that's a much needed song and part of that whole
Right.
story. Kim Grimsley, the live Grinch, would be in her
Number 6. Okay.
No,
Oh, we're about to. Oh boy, we will get to that.
we will mention very quickly that fight because we are starting to. We're almost going to hit past the hour mark. We got I think 10 minutes left, but yes, absolutely. Jess Warrington says she loves the Muppets. Belinda says hello. Judy, sorry about your Wi-Fi problems.
So that was our top 5.
Those are top 5, and we
We matched on
2 of them.
I think that's pretty good. 2 out of 5 we matched on. I think that's
not
great.
bad.
And the thing is, technically, even though we did, I think we technically matched on 3.
3.
Our match wasn't the same, but it was still in our top 5.
Because
And that's Christmas Vacation. That technically we did have it in our top 5, just swapped where it was. So for me, some honorable mentions. You might have some too. Some honorable mentions. Tim Allen's Santa Claus movie. Not I watch all 3, but the first one is the best one. But there's a better Santa Claus movie that hits my top 10.
Are you talking Dudley Moore?
I'm talking Dudley Moore.
Yes.
Is Santa Claus the movie? I'm going to bring this up close. If you have not seen this movie, darn light. If you have not seen this movie, go check. This is a classic. This literally tells you the story of how Santa came to be.
Yeah, it does.
Awesome movie. Another honorable mention: Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jack Frost,
Jamie.
I'll Be Home for Christmas, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Another honorable mention. Charlie Brown Christmas. I said I was going to tell you my top number 1 cartoon.
We match the honorable mentions.
Now for my top number 1 cartoon? I love Rudolph. What do you think my top animated Christmas movie is?
It's gotta be Charlie Brown Christmas.
No.
What is it?
My top favorite animated, and I'm going to say this all around. I love all the different claymation, stop motion.
Okay.
I love them all.
Okay.
I love Rudolph's in my top two.
Yep.
Number one, though, top favorite animated Christmas movie of all time. And somebody just said it on my list. David, you said it. Frosty the Snowman is my number one animated.
Frosty. Thought I'd even just. Yep, she said it before. Like, nice.
Oh, Jeremy, you said it. That'll be in the honorable. A Christmas Story is definitely on the honorable mention list. On my honorable mention list.
Yeah,
I actually watched the new one that just came out this year on HBO Max.
Ralphie's Return.
What's the movie? Not the one they tried to do many years ago. Make A Christmas Story 2. This movie where he has to go back because his father died.
Yes.
Absolutely good. It kind of kept to the classic, but that's my favorite. I could go over a ton of other honorable mentions out there. Now we're gonna go over the fight. I think. Before we do that, what are your honorable mentions, real quick? What are your honorable mentions?
I definitely have to bring, because you mentioned it. You do tie one in the honorable mentions, and that's Charlie Brown Christmas.
Okay.
Another one would be one that Kim Grimsley mentioned earlier, which was White Christmas.
Yes, that's a classic.
That's solid, and just the whole sound, like the whole music, and Irving Berlin, and just a firestorm of a good movie. One that is in the same vein, done by the very makers of Muppet Christmas Carol. It's a movie called Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I will always put that in there just because of the song that is sung between Emmett and his mother, called "When the River Meets the Sea." It's a gorgeous song, gorgeous song. So I had to bring that one because another great Muppet made movie. Frosty would have definitely been. I do have to say, because Michael Ellis was waiting for this moment. Ernest Saves Christmas is in my honorable.
Oh my God, I forgot about Ernest. That is definitely my honorable mentions. Yes, that's definitely honorable mention.
It's not in the top.
No, not in the top. Definitely
It's definitely one that I'm watching.
Forgot and I have all the Ernest movies in my room.
My final honorary mention is one I don't think people tend to think of right away, because it's another obscure one, and it was only included recently in these multi-pack of the Rankin Bass stuff.
Okay.
And it's an animated film called Cricket on the Hearth. And it's got that one right there. It's got the voices of Marlo and Danny Thomas. It's got for anybody who's like kind of like a big animation nerd. One of the voices also was played Thorin Oakenshield in like the very first animated Hobbit movie. But and it's just a very it's not a animated cartoon that talks down to you, but it is one that just kind of says, this is what this is a story. It's this person who's lost somebody dear in her life, has been affected by it, and so now the people who surround her try to help her see Christmas through their eyes. It's a brilliant one.
Real quick, and I mention there's actually three. Little Drummer Boy. I actually showed this to my daughter the other night. She actually loved it. That's a claim stop motion, whatever. Yeah. There's two movies I just thought of, and the one I always mess up the name, and it's from the 90s, and I haven't been able to find it because I mess up the name. And Santa Claus and the One Elf. He used to be on the game show that you did the X's and O's, Hollywood Squares, and he had like bushy hair. He's an overweight guy, wore fun glasses, and I can't remember his name, but they did a Christmas movie. It was based on Santa. This one girl, her father was always touring. She never got to see him, and she wanted him home for Christmas. I forgot what it's called. There's this amazing song in it. I'm going to try to remember it. I'm going to find it. I'll mention it. The other one is a Dolly Parton movie.
Ooh.
I grew up on this because in my household, my parents had a record player. We would play like Alabama Christmas music. We play Dolly Parton's Christmas music on the record player at Christmas when we decorate. And it's Smoky Mountain Christmas.
Yeah.
One of the best, hands down. My sister would probably put that in her top. My oldest sister would probably put that in her top 5. I've been wanting to have a Smoky Mountain Christmas. Like, I actually want to go rent a cottage in Pigeon Forge and near there, Dollywood, and have like an old Smoky Mountain Christmas. So that would be my honorable mention. I know there's so many more we could think of.
The very last one I wanted
Yeah.
to mention was another Rankin Bass.
Oh boy.
And it's the animated version of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," where
Yes.
the mice are trying to help restore the clock, the clock
Put it
tower,
right there.
and because
Like Christmas classics.
the one mouse is kind of disillusioned on the idea of Santa. Let's get into
There's two movies I know where we're going.
The
There's
fight.
two of them. There's two of them.
the fight, and really quickly because I do want to acknowledge.
Yes.
Jessica Warrington says Christmas Vacation is her favorite. Home Alone 2 is great. We mentioned Home Alone 2 in our list. Feel free, please, to go back and rewatch that because we go into detail on our reasons for Home Alone 2.
Yes.
Kim Grimsley says absolutely love Dolly. Hard Candy Christmas song is amazing.
Yes, that's yes.
Even though the movie it's attached to is not a Christmas film, and I won't even repeat
Yeah.
the title, but people who know Dolly enough
Yeah.
know where that's.
Jeremy, I had over here. David was
Yes.
just saying he forgot one of the movies that we talked about. Jeremy said yes, Frosty. He also said Snowy Mountain Christmas, Smoky. He said Smoky.
Smoky.
So now the battle.
The battle,
There's two films. I'm going to mention this first one, and you probably didn't know I was going to mention this first one.
please.
And I thought about it this week at work as a coworker of mine. We love to go back and forth. Batman Returns.
Then that would be a third because I thought of two others, but Batman Returns, yes, is technically taking place in Christmas.
In Christmas.
So technically, you could push.
You could push for Batman Returns with Penguin and it's a Christmas
You
movie
can.
because that's when it takes place.
Yeah.
So what is another one on your list if there's a battle if it's a Christmas movie or not?
Lethal Weapon.
Oh.
Because the beginning scene is Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah.
Have the OG version of Jingle Bell Rock. The very last scene, and I could kick them for this because it's Elvis's.
Yeah.
I'll Be Home for Christmas. And
Sorry for the dogs in the background. Somebody got here at the house.
The Riggs and Mercer song.
Yeah.
Glover gets in exchange for presents. It takes place during the Christmas holiday, but in California, Florida.
Okay.
So nobody ever thinks it's a Christmas film because there's absolutely no freaking snow. But it is a Christmas film. It takes place and has everything Christmas with the exception of a massacre.
Okay.
And of course, probably the one that everybody has.
Oh god, here we go. The battle. And I finally watched this movie because I had never watched it before. Finally watched it a year ago. Go ahead and ask the movie that the battle is. Is it a Christmas movie or is it not a Christmas? Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it.
Die Hard.
And now the battle begins.
Die Hard.
Okay. I watched this movie because I had a coworker tell me it's a Christmas movie. It's the first movie he watches every Christmas. Okay. First off, I'm going to say, because they did a video of Bruce Willis literally saying in an interview, he says, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a Bruce Willis movie. Okay. First off, okay, I get the fight over why
they're attending
people listen. They're attending a Christmas party, but technically they could have an office party at any point and that robbery would take place. I'm not going to battle people on it because honestly, I think it was a decent movie. I'm not going to say it was like a movie that I need to watch every Christmas.
No, definitely not me either.
But I mean, I can see the battle is there was a Christmas party. Bruce Willis wouldn't have come back. So why would that have happened? Nobody would have saved the day.
For crying out loud, they play so many freaking Christmas songs in there, including which was not. I can kind of see where people might not be so inclined to think of this one, but "Christmas in Hollis" by Run DMC.
Oh yes.
And then everything takes place during Christmas. It's a Christmas party. Guys, this is a Christmas movie. Get over it. I mean, Lethal Weapon, I can kind of see the argument for because there's no hint of snow. Die Hard, there's plenty of snow. And Christmas trees and Christmas parties. Guys, you can fight about this all you want, but I will defend this to the death.
You're going to defend it? And that's okay. I'm not going to fight anybody on this movie. It's 50-50 for me. I think I can definitely. It's okay.
I don't mention it in my honorary mentions because I watch it every other day but Christmas.
I mean, honorable mention for me would have been like, Nightmare Before Christmas, but I watched that more during Halloween.
I'm kicking myself because I didn't even
That's
think
that's
of
an honorable
that.
that technically is a Christmas
Let's
movie.
put that in honor.
That's technically a Christmas movie.
Honorable mention.
Real quick, Nancy wrote on mine, said Christmas Story is one of my top 5. We just watched Christmas Story yesterday. It was very good. Yes, Christmas Story is definitely a Christmas. That's a classic. Wasn't in my top 5, but it definitely would go probably in my top 10.
Yep.
As honorable mentions. All right, so the Battle of Die Hard. It's going to keep being a battle. I think Bruce Willis said it best. It's a Bruce Willis film.
Yes.
Not a Christmas movie. Bam. So with that being said, real quick, because we're a little over time, we got some plans happening. We have some friends coming over. We're gonna have a game night tonight. We're excited. Real quick, we're gonna spend the next 5 minutes. We're gonna do this fast. So we're gonna say Christmas tradition, maybe 2 of our favorite Christmas traditions, maybe a new tradition that has started.
Yes.
And then finally a New Year's resolution. So I'm gonna say for me, growing up, my family Christmas was my dad made Christmas. My dad and my mom always made Christmas very big. We didn't have a lot, but my parents' Christmas was special. We always had our family, everybody come stay, and we always decorated the day after Thanksgiving. Not before, not on November 1st with all you people starting Christmas day after Halloween. I get it though; it does bring joy. But to me, Christmas starts. You know when Christmas starts? Not the day after Thanksgiving. It starts as soon as the Santa Claus passes Macy's at noontime.
She's never seen Nightmare. Kim's never seen it.
All right, I'm gonna get up and leave the show now. Watch Nightmare Before Christmas, please. You just offended me. No. Christmas literally started at my house literally as soon as Santa passed Macy's, and the Macy's decorated at noon. And from that point on, we heard Christmas music, we decorated. Christmas Eve was huge, where we'd have family and friends come over. My dad would always cook all these finger foods, traditional stuff. A few little. One side of my family. We are Jewish, but we don't really celebrate Hanukkah or anything like that. We just celebrate Christmas, but we do try to bring in some of the traditions.
Rock on.
We'd go to church to the candlelight service, and then come home, lay baby Jesus in the manger. For those of you that, whatever you believe, that's fine. That's just my traditions.
I did the nativity, and I was Joseph a couple.
There you go. So. And then Christmas Day, we just eat leftovers and stuff like that, and open our gifts and celebrate. As I've gotten older, the new tradition. And yesterday we really kicked that tradition in full form. Yesterday, we hit when my dad passed in 2009. Christmas kind of like did a turn. Christmas kind of really lost its thing. So we were trying to find our way. So a new tradition that started a couple years later was my mom now. We meet up with my mom. We all go to church. We go out to dinner. She wants to go. So that's our new tradition for that. But Christmas Day, and I think yesterday really, and I told my whole family I'm going to keep this going. Christmas brunch we had yesterday. I made Christmas brunch. Everybody came over. And then last night, my wife made dinner. We had it late because we were full. But having everybody together all day long, just laughing, joking. We all opened gifts, but it was nice just to have everybody together. So that's the tradition I'm now going to push into full force, this new one for Christmas Day. How about you? What is something that was huge growing up?
I would say a new tradition that I've actually been taking to, and I love this. It's Heidi told me that she loves the idea of waking up every Christmas morning with like one of those little Christmas plushies.
Okay.
And it's just sitting there under the tree, just kind of, so when she goes to look at the tree, she can see it. She goes straight for it, hugs it. I've done that for her every year since we've lived in the location we're living in. That has not stopped. And I mean, one tradition of when I was growing, I mean, it's a hard one. Because we had this talk on the way here.
Yeah.
I'd say one of the Christmas traditions is probably the music. Just listening to a whole bunch of different old school, and depending on if it's decent enough, new school Christmas songs done by like Dolly Parton was
Mhm.
definitely in there. John Denver and the
Oh,
Muppets.
oh, that's a good one.
There's a
Yep.
whole soundtrack on Spotify, and I seriously I order you to go and check it out. It's a beautiful mix where John Denver sings very heartfelt and also fun
Oh yeah, because
songs
you got yeah.
with the Muppets. He
Yes.
does a duet with Robin of Where the River Meets the Sea.
Ah, very good.
Um,
Yes, I know that album's a good album.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is usually always good to
Yes,
listen to.
yes.
Elvis better be in there.
I'm a Michael Bublé and Kenny G Christmas kind of guy.
Michael Bublé, yes, I avoid Kenny G. I, I like staying awake for Christmas. Um,
Kenny G for wait a minute. Wait, I get you. No, Kenny G Christmas if you're having a romantic night during the Christmas holidays. It's got that put the candlelight on, relax. Yeah, Kenny G's more for that kind of thing. So if you're just listening in the car, don't listen in the car. Don't do it in the
I
car.
would be having the best nap of my life.
Because his music is good. It's soothing.
It-
That's why you're gonna fall asleep.
yeah.
It's soothing.
Yes, I'm saying it's bad. I just don't like
It's yeah.
sleeping through
So
Christmas.
that was
Um,
no, this is because I don't want to fall asleep.
Randy Travis.
Yeah, Randy Travis. There's some good Alabama's Christmas is really good.
Thistle the Christmas Bear for Alabama. Old Time Christmas for Randy Travis.
Yep.
The whole album is but that's
Okay.
that's the just kind of listening to
Classics.
and then now thankfully I listen to Green Christmas from the live Grinch movie, the
Okay.
Jim Carrey Grinch
Yep.
movie. I think it was Bare Naked Ladies that sang that in that
I think so.
soundtrack.
I think so.
Do They Know It's Christmas? From the 80s Live Aid. Um, Wonderful Christmas Time, McCartney. War
Some
is
good
Over,
songs.
Happy Christmas, War is Over, John Lennon and Yoko. I mean, I could seriously go way too long on that list, but that's
That's good.
um Kim says, sorry guys, Jessica loves Nightmare. I do want to read this one before we go
Yeah,
out
most
because it is
definitely.
a very nice one.
No, it is very nice.
Since this is Kim Grimsley. Since Mom has been gone, Mama Terry, I miss her too. She was very huge supporter for the Elvis tribute. And adopted Heidi into the family. Christmas just isn't the same. Guess it's her turn to make it her Christmas like her mother would have wanted her to, and that's
Definitely.
rock on. Jess gave out popcorn for the family since her mom did before, so she picked
I
it
know
up.
she picked something up. That's what you gotta do. Let me tell you, Kim, you saying that, when even before my dad, there was some family that passed beforehand. So Christmas for me since 2005 has started to was going downhill. I started hating Christmas. And of course my dad passed, that was it. I just done. Um, wasn't until the last few years that Christmas has started to become special again. And especially after yesterday, yesterday really has made it special. Halloween's still my number one. Just putting it out there. Halloween's number one. That's Christmas for me. But no, Christmas is starting to get really special again. So definitely do that. Make your own traditions. Start new stuff. So New Year, because we're gonna end this right in 2 minutes because we got friends here. So New Year's is coming. We are days away. I'm not about New Year's resolution about go lose weight, go do this because that's you're gonna drop all that shit. Yeah, he took some off. That stuff. That's make more money. All stop. That's why I hate when I hear all these people making resolutions. It's like don't do that. Make a more positive resolution. You know what a positive resolution is? Be positive. If you've had a negative year, focus on positivity. So for me, every year, for me, especially the last, I would say 6, 7 years since I've had some other stuff happen prior to meeting my wife now, is to be a positive person as much as possible. So my New Year's resolution is again to remain positive, stay positive, keep going forward. Me and him, me and TJ, this podcast is really we're doing this more. We're gonna do another one in January. We're gonna at least try to podcast. I think once a month. If we can do twice a month, definitely. Once a month. And then my YouTube channel is growing. And now I'm also starting a private business, which I will tell you all now. I am starting up because I work right here, Alpine Lake. It's a resort. I used to do this way back in the day. I was a DJ way back in my younger years, like through middle school, all the way through high school into my early 20s, and then I walked away from it. But all the places that I've worked, KOA, I worked there for 8, 9 years. I worked in another resort for about a year. and now being in this back in this setting, and then all the stuff that I've learned working with the kids at Astor for 6 years,
Yeah.
I want to start up. I'm starting up an entertainment slash event planning called J World Entertainment and Event Planning, and I'm going to be doing DJing, karaoke, and some other stuff's going to come along the way once the business really builds up. So my focus is making this, the podcast, making the YouTube channel, and making that a big, fun thing and staying positive. So that is my thing. Just staying positive, keeping close friends together, and having fun. Because life, if we have not learned already with this year, we've lost a lot of people this year in the entertainment
Oh
world.
my God, we did.
But people have also lost private people. We don't learn.
Yes.
And I've learned it.
Yes.
We don't. Life is short. Being negative and angry all the time takes more effort than being positive.
Yes.
So that's my resolution: being positive and heading for all positive things in 2023. How about you?
My goal is it would seem pretty simple, but it depends on perspective. Keep creating. Between the Elvis tribute, which I love doing so much, the acting at Great Escape that I've been able to get a chance to do, which includes the scare acting.
Yes.
There's no way that's stopping. I've been very blessed with that, and been able to do a lot more this last year. Hosting things like the costume contest and Bark in the Park and things like that. So I'm, my Twitch streams, my video game streams, the King's Gamer Plays is taken off, and I'm very grateful for that. So I just want to keep creating, because
Perfect.
the more I create, the more chances that it can bring some kind of laughter and joy to somebody. And at that point, I feel like that gives me a better purpose too.
Yeah, most definitely.
It brought us together.
Yep.
Um, and definitely, heck, I might even like if you're up for it, let's join forces on a couple of Elvis events. You with your DJing and my Elvis tribute shows.
I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that.
That would
my whole plan for the entertainment thing is I want to get bounce houses. You know how people rent out bounce houses? I want to get to that. I want to actually run game shows, live game shows for events.
Read Nancy's.
New Year's resolution is doing 400 times tonight. Yes, Nancy, I got a 400 times. Yes, Nancy. We're 2023. It's coming, Nancy. We're gonna get you on that. So I think, nice tattoos, Rowan. I love them. My daughter's showing us her tattoos. We'll be out in a minute, okay? Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here.
But please.
Come here. Come say hi to everybody. We got 2 shows. Oh, here goes. Come here. Sit right here. Say hi to everybody on both screens. Say hi over there. Say hi over there. Hi there, everybody. Oh, she's showing you her tattoos. She got a lot of in the new shirt. You want to show me your new shirt?
She got a chance to meet the sheriff of Ghost Town.
That she did. She did. She loves Halloween. You just want to say anything? You want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year? You got to say it. You got to say Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Very
Great
good.
job,
All right,
bro.
go ahead. I'll meet you out there.
You're awesome.
All right.
She's a rock star.
So with that being said,
yes,
we're gonna end this right now. We're not gonna go long because like I said, we got people waiting out here for to hang out and have dinner. So with that being said, we are definitely not gonna be back before the new year. I want to wish everybody a happy, safe, blessed new year. And we will see you in January in a new podcast. And also pay attention. I will have a podcast. A video coming after this coming week because I will be going to New York City this week.
yes.
So I'm going to make a video of all the sights and sounds of New York. So be looking forward to that. But just mainly, we have a happy new year. We will see you in the new year. And thank you all for your support in 2022. And we will have bigger and better things coming in 2023. God bless you all.
Yeah. Honestly, he said quite a bit. I just want to thank you guys. To the Nerd and Back has seen a new life in 2022. I have to thank you for joining up and making these vidcasts a lot more fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, because you have tuned in and submitted questions and comments, you've said hi, how supportive you've been of both of us in this. And of course, I also want to thank you because how many times very blessedly you've included both Heidi and myself in your J World videos. You never had to do that. And we're here spending time with this incredible family. So very blessed to be a part of things like this. You guys are amazing and the reason why we both do this vidcast. Um, I also look forward to seeing you guys in 2023. I'm going back to the Great Escape this summer. Don't you worry about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know some things. I can't say those things, but I'm looking forward to showing you guys when summer rolls around. You are rock stars. Have an incredibly awesome, rockin', safe, joyful new year. And thank you for a badass 2022. And let's see a very happy, joyful 2023. And so, with that being said, we're going to close out of here. And thank you for joining us as we took you to the nerd and back.
And we will see you on the next episode of the J Roll Family.